Thank you so much for that rousing welcome. It's very good to be here. So I'm actually from New Zealand, which some of you might have cottoned onto already. I just thought I'd better tell you. The cat's out of the bag. That's because I sound quite similar to you, but also obviously a little bit different. So I just thought I'd explain that right at the top. But do not worry. What I've done is I've actually written some local material to endear myself to you. So you'll hear the joke and you'll think, oh, yeah. The local material, though, it's not actually set in Melbourne, Victoria 2019, although that is where the joke is being performed. It's actually set in Blowering Dam, New South Wales, 1976. So do you know that Australia is the home to the world water speed record? Yeah, so in Blowering Dam, New South Wales, 1976, an Australian man by the name of Ken Warby, he drove a boat called the Spirit of Australia at a top speed of 511 kilometres per hour. Holy, isn't that fast? For a boat. It's like a plane, but it's a boat if you can wrap your head around that. So that is so fast. That is so fast that twice since then, two other people have attempted to break this water speed record, and they are both now former people. But we can laugh about it. It's okay, but because they died doing what they love, But I say that. I reckon they're probably actually full of regret, at the very end. I reckon they were like, oh, this is great. And then at the very end, they thought, oh, no, it's too fast, actually. And then it was curtains, it was all over. But then when I found that out, I started thinking, well, how fast can a person go? So I wound up researching the greatest athlete of our generation, Usain Bolt, who he retired semi-recently from his chosen sport of going as fast as he can, which there's a career if you work at it. I'd probably say it's off the cards for most of us. Just by way of reference, when's the last time anyone in this room hit top speed? Yeah. But so, you seem like an intelligent bunch. You're at a recording of a comedy show that you could watch later on online. Would any of you like to hazard a guess in kilometres per hour as to how quickly Usain Bolt can run at top speed? Kilometres per hour. 60. It's why he is a person. It's a mite high. It's a touch high. So it's slower than 60. What do you say? 35. No. Well, he's a little bit fat. No. But it's not bad. It's between 35 and 60. I reckon the fastest guy in your high school could have run it. I got no idea where you went. It's faster than 35. Does anyone know any numbers between 60 and 35? I heard 49, I heard 42, and just to expedite the whole process, I'm going to split the difference. Outstanding! You've taken all the fun out of the game with those two simultaneous guesses. So the correct speed is actually 44.72 kilometres per hour, which is, it's not 60, but you got, for a person, lightning fast. That's like a car, not at full speed, but a car. At 44.72 kilometres per hour, so you round that up to 45. That is so fast that between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. and 4 p.m. it would be illegal for Usain Bolt to run past an Australian school. And that's a shame because I reckon the kids would get a real kick out of that. I think part of the reason it's so good to be here is I recently moved my entire life to New York City to pursue my dream of being destitute in the greatest city on earth. It's going well. I'm really unlocking a whole lot of, new levels of the dream. Not long before I left, I broke up with my long-term partner, which, I assume that'll be of little interest to you, but I can assure you it felt like a pretty significant moment in my life. I'm always wary of comedians talking about their breakups, though. I think it's very similar to hearing ordinary people talk about their dreams. But I have found it incredibly challenging, I've found it really hard. I haven't been getting booked for much work. To be honest, I moved there to do comedy, and yet I have not done less stand-up comedy in my professional career than since I moved to New York City. It is a miracle I am still this good. And you wind up spending so much time by yourself, you start to sort of turn on yourself and you start asking yourself questions. And for a long while, I was sort of sitting there in my room just turning things over in my head going, well, why am I not getting booked here? What's the problem? Does the problem lie with me? Is it a Guy Montgomery problem? And I wound up, for 2 days straight, I was just asking myself, I was going, does Guy Montgomery's stand-up comedy have a diversity problem? For 2 days, that question over and over and over in my head. Does Guy Montgomery's stand-up comedy have a diversity problem? And if you think about that question long enough, the answer is inevitably yes. Of course it does. By its very definition it does, because I'm a straight white man, and so accordingly, I can only speak from that perspective. However, this evening, to silence the critics once and for all and satiate everyone's undying thirst for diversity, I'm very pleased and proud to perform what little of my set remains for you this evening in character as a gay black woman. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wanda Sykes. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, Wanda, you don't sound a lot like yourself this evening. And that is for the very good reason that in my long and storied show business career, I've found it is much easier to be heard if you speak from the perspective of a straight white man. And so this evening, I will be performing as little-known New Zealand comedian, Guy Montgomery. A little Russian nesting doll for you on the way home. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm Guy Montgomery.